Yo, 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 no maniacs. Welcome to the show. This is Nomad Live, all bears all the time, in conjunction with Sports Zone Chicago and my guy over there, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Welcome to the show, guys. Before we get going and dig into today's topic of, growth and development and what it takes to build a champion, is the theme of the subject matter today. Before we do that, I want to do this young man up here at the top right. The service of welcoming him as the newest member of the Nomad Network, Keith Harris. Man, we really vibed out yesterday, earlier in the day, and then we did the mock draft last night, and then after the show we vibed even further, in the green room, and the conversations were hella. I loved every minute of it, and he's a perfect fit for what we want to do over here at the Nomad Network. He's got great football chops, and he's going to fit in very well. So let me just welcome you to the show one more time, Keith.
Man, I appreciate it. Thank you very much for having me again, Nomad. Shawn, it's a pleasure to finally get a chance to be live with you. I've been following you for some time now as well. So this is a great time. Yes, sir.
Nice to meet you, man. Good. It's great to meet you.
Well, I appreciate it.
So just by the way, man, how's everybody doing, man? What's going on, man? You guys got anything going on in life right now you want to discuss, or just you want to get right into the football stuff?
Man, look, life is life, baby. Different day. Different day, different song.
I'm going to Michigan as soon as I get off the show. So one of my people live up in Michigan. I haven't been up there to get I have his son and his daughter's Christmas present. I just haven't been able to get up there. So I was like, you know what? Today's a good day. I ain't got shit else to do. I said, let me go. So after the show, it's over 10 minutes away. It's in Coloma, Michigan, right outside of, not too far from New Buffalo. Or St. Joseph is where it's real close to. If you know where Silver Lake is, a lot of people go to Silver Beach up in there, so it's not too far. So I'm gonna go drop off some Christmas presents for my niece and my nephew. We're that close, me and my people, and come probably grab something to eat and then come back home a little later. So, man, other than that, man, stuff's good, man. Stuff is good.
Shawn, what's good to eat up in Michigan, man?
They got some nice little restaurants because it's a small town that he lives in. So it's nice little small home, literally like home cooked meals in these little restaurants. So it was pretty good. He took when I was up there in October, November. He took me to a nice little family restaurant that was really good. And so I told him, so we're gonna go to dinner. He said there's a nice a little more a little nicer restaurant. So I'm like, yeah, perfect. We'll grab something. So I'll let you know what it is. I'll give you the 411 when I get back, and give you the name, number, and everything. So I'm a little excited about checking this place out.
Okay. They got some bad looking pizza, man. I'll tell you that much, man.
I don't mess with the pizza. I just go mess with the beaches. Did I say beaches or beaches? No,
Hey, you know what? Let's do this. Let's have this little exercise, because I see Jose Sanchez is checking in from Puerto Rico. Do me a favor, people. Let us know where you're checking in from. I like to see some locations, who's from where. Just want to know where you're checking in from.
I got a few people down in Puerto Rico right now.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Some of my friends, my girl Sandra, her and her boyfriend are down in Puerto Rico. My girl Shelly, her and her husband are down in Puerto Rico right now. Damn, who else is with that? Someone else is down there too. Goodness. But I got one more person I know for sure. Besides my people who live there, I got a lot of people down there. I still got to go. I went to college with a lot of people from the island, and I still never been to Puerto Rico. Man, I know my pictures on the at the airport. Like, as soon as this joker comes in, call me, because they're gonna whoop my tail, boy. It took you over 30 years to get down here, fool.
So we got Philly in here. That's Jay Grizz from Philly. We got Cornelius Gibson, Chicago, all up in here. Chris C. Sharp Washington from Kokomo, Indiana. Nathan Campbell from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Patty Laura from the North Side. You're a Cubs fan, huh, Pat? Huh?
Yeah, they're Cub fans.
Oh, man.
I love them anyway.
Daryl Gibson checking in from Virginia. Brian Hendricks, South Indy. Here we go. Black Rain, that's my guy Petty. He grew up in Chicago, but now in Memphis. Let me see here. That's what I got right now. But hey, man, listen.
And then, I'm down here by way of Chicago. I'm down here in San Antonio, Texas.
San Antonio up in here.
Damn, okay.
Is it true what Barkley says about the women, man?
Not totally, no, not totally.
I didn't think so, man.
No.
Hey man, hey, I ain't mad at ain't nothing wrong with them big old girls, man. Especially when it get cold outside, man. You better get you a big one.
But it don't get cold in Texas, but like 2 days a year.
Yeah, we get some unseasonable from time to time, but no, down here sometime, man, we have to beg for rain. So
what happens when you get that unexpected thing of snow? Should the city just shuts down?
For the most part, but man, it's literally 24 to 48 hours tops, man.
Yeah,
that's it.
My cousin lives in Georgia, and I got people in Texas, and a couple of times they got like less than an inch to an inch of snow, and like the city shut down.
Hey man, that ain't funny, man. Because I think I was there in 2011, 2012. I think more like 2011, and they got like 2 inches of snow. Turned the whole damn expressway into a parking lot.
Yeah,
it looked like a parking lot, literally.
Dallas is more used to it than anybody because they're north, so they're right outside of on the other side of Oklahoma. So now they will get some snow once or twice a year, and they will drop down into the 30s, but other than that, down here in San Antonio, because we're south, like I said, man, very, very seldom.
Right. So yeah.
Hey, Jose, where you at? Southside, where you from? Little Village, Pilsen, Marquette Park. Where you at? You said you're born and raised on the South Side.
I got some people over there in Little Village.
I was born and raised in the South Side. I was born in Pilsen, and then we moved to 63rd in California.
Ooh.
That's where I grew up.
Man. Right by the jail, boy.
No, 63rd in California.
I know. I just heard California.
What high school, Shawn?
Oh, Jay Grizz. See, me and you man. I went to St. Rita High School. Man, Jay Grizz, things are going along so well, bro.
Shawn, I went to Weber.
You're a Red Horde, huh? Shut the front door. Oh, snap.
Jay Grizz said he's 64 from Dante.
Yep.
He went to Mount Carmel.
Yeah, well, wow. I won't hold that against him.
Me either.
that Chicago Catholic League rivalry, man. It's right. You got two of us now. Weber Red Horde and the St. Rita Mustang.
Joseph Matuzak is from Chicagoland area, but he's lived coast to coast. He's a traveler. Okay. All right, well, let's get into the subject matter, man, because I think Shawn and Keith, man, I think right about now people are taking off, a little too far, and just really getting carried away with the narratives and the media and everybody's virtues, trying to just go down the road a little bit too far. And so I thought today would be a good time to try to reel people back in and try to explain to people what it takes to, when you're in the part of growth development period, and what it takes to begin to build a champion. From a competitor, man, these are tough times, especially for someone like Justin Fields, and not just him, but the rest of the guys on the team. Just remember, what are we, 2 years removed from a complete teardown, right? 2 years removed from that. And the pieces just now are starting to be put back in place. And so when you tear down a roster, it's my opinion that it takes you at least 3 to 4 years to be able to replace the pieces that you tore down and pulled out. And so let's just take it back to when Poles and Eberflus got here, completely ripped down the roster. Most of the key pieces on the defense are gone. Most of the key pieces on the offense are gone. And somehow Justin Fields, one way or another, ended up making the all 100?
Yep.
The all 100. How he was able to do that under those circumstances with the team that was given to him, or that he inherited after the teardown, is amazing. I think we should just start right there and kind of talk about what that process has to be like. And on top of that, Shawn and Keith, we beat probably on that first game in San Francisco in a monsoon, beat pretty much the best team in the league, most people thought. Beat the best team in the league. And that, I was amazed by that game and how the toughness that they displayed in that game after a teardown, to be well coached enough and well disciplined enough to beat a team of that caliber. I thought it was amazing. Let's just start at the rebuild phase.
Well, it was a It was the monsoon. It was tough. So and plus, it's week one's always difficult, because every team, as you well know, no team is ever the same week one than they were week 16 or 17, whatever it is. All right, you got free agents, you got rookies, you got a whole bunch of stuff. So the team's always changing. So you have projections and predictions of what teams are going to be, but you really don't know what teams are going to be. You can, and this is why strength of schedule, when people say strength of schedule, you don't know what the team's going to be the following year. I digress. It was a big win. So we didn't really know what San Fran was going to be. We had what we thought, but we didn't know what they're going to be until after they kind of, the season went on. But I loved it. It was in the rain. I love the way that they played was it was very resilient. All right, they didn't let the weather conditions stop them. They were out there having fun, and I thought it was a great thing. And it was because we're talking 22. You're saying this is before they let some people go. Akeem Hicks wasn't brought back. We were about to let go of Roquan Smith. We were about to get rid of Puerto Rican Bobby Robert Quinn. There's a lot of things that are about to happen that hadn't happened yet, but there was a lot of promise, man. Justin Fields did well. I think who did he hit? Was it EQ St. Brown for the touchdown?
Yep.
Might have been his only touchdown of the of his Bears career, but it looked good. Things looked really, really, really good after week one.
Yeah, and for me, I was really surprised just by the way how Justin handled everything in terms of the weather, and that type of weather, gripping the football and just being able to command the offense. So he showed something to me that I said, okay, this guy can do it. Not that I doubted him anyway, but considering the factors, and then again, who he was up against, that defense alone, can cause problems. And of course, everybody wanted to make excuses for, San Francisco in terms of, it's the weather, it's this and that. No, they still
we didn't have to play in it either. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We didn't have to play in it. We had the dry field and the dry ball. San Francisco played in the wet stuff.
That's the part that got me. I'm like, really? So, I thought they did well. And considering the weapons that he had or the lack thereof too, come on, man.
It was now consider this. That first game, the beginning of the rebuild or the teardown and starting to put the pieces in. Let's talk about the rookies that got that early experience. Braxton Jones, straight out of college, right to starting left tackle. Quan Brisker, straight out of college, starting strong safety. What's his name? Kyler Gordon. Kyler Gordon, right into the slot, the hardest position to play on the field. And right away, they achieved some success. These guys look really good, even though Kyler Gordon struggled. And anybody that's in his position, a rookie in the NFL, you're going to have to see some things before you get better. The same way Tyreek Stevenson had to this year, but only out in the boundary. But playing the slot is a whole different game. And the fact that they played rookies against probably one of the number 1, 2, or 3 teams in the league, being the 49ers, and beat them up. It wasn't just they got to win. No, they pretty well physically handled those guys, man. And I thought, watching that game, I was just like, oh my Lord, man, this team is pretty much got nothing, but they out here competing with these guys. And it said something to me about what's been going on behind the scenes, the coaching, the development, and the training, and the, focusing on what you need to focus on to get better. You start to see that going on in the field, the team cohesion, what it takes to start developing, what you want later on down the line as a champion. You start to see flashes of that game one that year. And so what do you think it was like for those rookies, man, and what they had to go through that year?
Man, me personally, I think not to look like deers in headlights, they did doggone well. I was most impressed with Braxton Jones being a 5th rounder.
Yeah.
This kid went to a smaller school, smaller program, in the competition he was going up against. His first time playing as a pro, I think he held his own. And then you look at our DBs, Brisker flying around, throwing his body around. I call him the young Mike Brown. That's what he reminds me of. And my favorite, man, I like Kyler Gordon. I really like what he brings to the table, and I was high on him while he was coming out of college. I thought he was a steal, me personally. So I was very impressed. But my main guy that I was really paying attention to that particular day was Braxton Jones.
Yeah, the rookies are tough. You know, as when you saw with Kyler Gordon, they moved him around, right? As the season, the first few weeks,
Yeah.
they didn't just leave him in the slot. They put him outside, and hell, learning outside is tough enough at the next level. But to learn outside in the slot, they threw a lot at him, and I think that's a testament to him, to his fortitude, to his dedication to the craft. All right, because I mean, there's a lot of film you got to watch. It's a lot of things you got to understand. A lot of different calls. And say, you know, different responsibilities for each call, for each side, each position that you're in. If you're in a slot, if you're on the outside. So, and they threw it at him. And you know what? I liked it because of the fact that sink or swim, kid. You know, it might actually have been too much for you, but you know what? You took it, you handled it, you got beat up a little bit, as every rookie does, and it didn't discourage him. And by the end of the year, we saw how well he was playing, and then this year we saw the fruits of that, you know, of that development, of that growth. And you know, he became, man, how many I say about the last 5 weeks of his rookie year, man, he had tons of PBUs. I don't remember the picks, but I remember he was always not breaking passes up. And I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. He finally got settled. The deer in the headlights you're talking about, Keith, that seemed to die down. He's more comfortable. And really, at the end of the year, you're not a rookie anymore, because you week in and week out, you don't go up against chumps, man. It's the NFL. You're going up against stud receivers, and sometimes offenses would put their best receiver in the slot. Say, okay, let's take advantage of this rookie. We got a rookie here. Got to learn on the fly. And to me, there's nothing better than doing that. And because you now, one, you don't get to think. You get the athletic ability to take over, and you're going to win it. You're going to win that rep. You're going to lose that rep. Is that you're going to win it? And you got to learn from the wins, and you got to learn from the losses. And I think they did a great job of doing that, of putting them under fire, and they responded. They responded like any great athlete do.
So, you know, a lot of people, if you think back and remember what social media was like and what the news, you know, guys were reporting, you know, people on radio stations, they were pissed about the fact that their first couple of picks were defensive players.
DBs too. They're like, why DBs? At least D linemen. Give me DBs. I was one of them. I was like, damn, dude, you're crazy. But hey, Paul was like, shut up.
And you know, that's something else that I think a lot of people overlook and don't give enough credit to. I really think that their evaluation and their scouts, they're hitting the spot on, man. You know, now we 2 drafts in, and these guys have really been hitting it out the park when it comes to their evaluations and the guys that they've been bringing on board. So, you know, testaments to the scout team, but more importantly, I really think, you know, Poles and Cunningham, they got their pulse. They checking the pulse, and they know what they on to, man. And they have a vision of what they want this team to be, you know, and they're going after it. And I think we're going to see even more of that this coming draft too.
So go ahead, Shawn, you got anything on that?
I was just going to say, yeah, you're right to think about it. Like, my good friend was the director of college scouting, and I would talk with him often. Mark Sadowski, he's with Pittsburgh now, I think I want to say. And I was anxious to see, because that first draft class was with Mark and them. All right, because you can't come in, you know, in January or February and get a new staff and expect to be able. So you got to keep the old staff, and after that they made a change. So I was anxious to see. Okay, well they did well with my guy Mark's last season. That's when they got Brisker and all those guys his first year. But I wanted to see how well they did this year, all right? Because now he's bringing in his own people, and man, they're doing well. Like I said, the only question mark that I have is, to this point, is Velus Jones, and that might be rectified with the new offensive coordinator. All right, Velus Jones hasn't really lived up to his potential. He's dropped a few balls. He's muffed some punts and some kickoffs, and his confidence is shot. But like I said, there's a change for him. You got a new offensive coordinator, and if Shane Waldron can use him like a Deebo Samuels, like a gadget, like a multi-purpose. I don't want to say gadget because it makes it seem like he's a trick guy, but a multi-purpose guy. And I mean, his career could be revived in no time because he's a short, powerful, thick, powerful kid. Guys bounce off of him, and with game-breaking speed. When he came out there, I asked my guy Herb. I was like, "Hey, Herb and my guy Zach Pearson." I'm like, "Man," I asked him specifically. I said, "How does his speed?" I said, "Does his speed translate to the football field?" He's like, "Bro, you could tell that's the fastest dude out on that field." I'm like, "For real?" Like, man, it's not even a question. His speed transfers. Like, okay, good. So now you got a guy. You got a home run hitter. So the scouting department, his original scouting department with my guy Mark Sadowski, and then his people when he brought in last year, they've done a great job, man. They've done a really, really good job, which is exactly why another reason, take the haul. All right, trade that number 1 pick, take the haul. You've been really, really good on draft picks, man. Just keep it up.
Yeah, I agree.
Nomad, what about you, dog? You with us? And you?
My bad. I was on mute, running my mouth too.
Hey, no,
help him out, Chris. Help him out.
Yeah, I was going to jump in. I thought he done passed out over there. But I was going to say, it also will give you a glimpse into the way Poles thinks when he drafts. You know, he took a lot of heat because he didn't take a offensive tackle in that draft, instead taking 2 second-round secondary pieces. But that'll let you know how he values value. He's going to be true to his big board. And he still got Braxton Jones in the 5th round. And Braxton Jones, I believe even till this day, is the highest rated offensive lineman to come out in that draft. I know he's higher rated than Evan Neal. Evan Neal came out in the 1st round. The guy at Cincinnati came out in the 4th round, and I think he's graded out well too. But I'm not sure. I know after his 1st year, he was the highest rated rookie offensive lineman after his rookie year. So I just remember just a note that, you know, Poles is going to stick to his draft board, and he did well in that draft. So people got after him because we needed that left tackle, and we really got one now. Whether he's the long-term solution or not, we got to get him a butt implant or something. But he for a 5th rounder, he did do well.
Well, he did great. I mean, you know, obviously he can scout linemen, but you know, the only thing, his one weakness, which we all know, is the bull rush. Now he worked with Olin a lot last year. Olin Kreutz in the offseason, and he got stronger. Bull rush is still an issue with him, but it's not as big of an issue as it was his rookie year. So I would think, and maybe it's me thinking that's the problem, but I would think he's going to get stronger again after another offseason. I think working with Olin, I would think he's still going to work with Olin because you definitely saw improvement in his anchor ability last year. You know, and if that progresses, cool. Then that makes Ryan Poles, that pick being what, a 5th round, he said, man, that is definitely a steal in the draft. So I assume he's going to get stronger, and that bull rush is going to be a lot less effective against him because he's got the feet of a dancing bear, man. And people found out like they couldn't on a swim or rip with different stunts, they couldn't get by him because his feet were phenomenal. And then when someone saw it, they tried to bull rush and they saw that they had success. Well, then, hey, you know, it's a copycat league and people watch tape, they watch film. And like, I don't have to run a rip or a swim. I don't have to do it. Okay, I could just go right through him, and that was his Achilles heel till last year, and it'd probably be less of one even this year. So that's a great pick, and you know, I like the way he's drafting.
Yeah, so, I think if all he has to do, like you said, just really work on, you know, building up his base some more. I think if he gets much stronger in his lower body, I think this coming year, if he continue to work with Olin and work on his hands some more and hand placement, I think he's going to be – I expect to see him take that next step, you know. Again, we got to remember, this kid came out of a small program, 5th round pick. He got a chance to get he got thrown into the fire his first year.
Yeah.
Now he's and again, we're talking about development. So there's layers to this. You know, you take what part of your game are you going to concentrate on to build on? So once again, I still got to work on my, not being able to, lose on the bull rusher. So that's all about the base. So I think if he put in the work with that and continue to work with Olin, I think, and besides the fact, he was the most durable person on our offensive line this year as well. He didn't really get hurt until next to last game of the season. Guy's durable too, man.
So, you know what would be really good? And here's the thing: is I was telling, I don't know if I was telling you, Nomad, but I wanted to talk to Darnell Wright after the last game of the season, last home game. I was in the locker room and he wasn't there, and I was like, damn. He just bounced, like he just showered, and there's a period where we got to wait outside before they allow us in. Like, did he shower like right away and bounce? Because one of the things that I wanted to talk to him about, and I'm wondering if he's going to try this with Braxton Jones. One of the reasons I noticed it when he was at Tennessee, what he does on pass pro is he fires out.
Mm-hmm.
He fires out. All right, and that's a complete mind blow to a defensive end or tackle, because you're thinking it's a run. So your takeoff on a run is so different as opposed to a takeoff on a pass. Now, mind you, if it's 3rd and 9, your takeoff for a defensive end is going to be a pass takeoff. But what he does, he'll take off on second down or third down or second down or first down. It's a pass. He'll fire off. Now you embrace the his explosion, and now you're trying to get to the ball. Well, and all of a sudden now he kick steps. So now you got to amp up again to try to get that speed and time to take off, which you can't match, and that slows you down. And I was like, wow. I'm like, that's awesome. And it's funny because I actually had mentioned that years ago. I was like, why don't offensive linemen just fire out and then come back? And maybe Braxton Jones picks up on that. Maybe Braxton Jones tries that, because if he can nullify people's takeoff, man, it could be a big thing for him. Depending on especially how strong he's going to get this year. Maybe he picks that up off of from Darnell and does that. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see.
It's when I was checking him out, I remember looking at that before he came out. I studied him pretty good. And I noticed that I'd never seen a O-lineman do that, a tackle anywhere in his pass set, go out there and attack the set instead of letting the player come to him. It was a unique tactic, man. And I was just like, it wasn't killing him. You know what I mean? He was never oversetting, never undersetting. He was getting right, firm placement, and it was working for him. You know what I mean? He just got on top of the guy before the guy could get on top of him. And so, yeah, I definitely noticed that when I was scouting him, and he's carried that over. He's still doing it. You know what I mean? But, and good coaching and development dictates that when a guy is good at something, and even though you might think that's
bingo. Say it, boy. Say it.
You might not think that's the proper way technically to do it. You don't mess with it.
Exactly, bro.
Just let that be. It's not hindering him in any kind of way. You just keep growing it. You know what I mean? That's part of growth and development. It's not you don't have to tear down every guy that walks into your locker room and rebuild him. You leave what is sometime and just grow on top of it. And so I think that's more or less what Shawn is saying, and some of that, some of those techniques and strategies that Darnell Wright uses could translate and rub off on some of the guys around him, like per se Braxton Jones. But just to get back to that, the way Poles drafts, right? And it took me to realize, probably a couple months to realize why he was drafting DBs early. And so I thought back on that draft and remembered all the homework I did on that draft. It was a very, very heavy defensive back draft. I mean, the value was high on DBs, whether it was safeties, whether it was corners. It was like almost like you couldn't miss. And I think based on what they think in that building, I think they go after the highest value position to draft first. Like right now, it is no doubt in my mind that receiver, no doubt in my mind that tackle, no doubt in my mind that actually safeties and corners are the safeties, corners, and D tackles are the strongest positions in the draft. You know, you can numerically rank any of them any kind of order that you want. But I think they're going to attack this draft the same way. And so I think they go after receiver, they go after tackle, and I think they probably go after D tackle. And I think maybe in that order, I don't know whether it be center or I don't know what they might do, but I think that developmental part, man, and seeing where Kyler Gordon is going, because Shawn, I don't know if I ever told you this, but one time when I was still at the bar room, Kyler was having a rough patch, man. I mean, he was getting cooked all over the place.
All the time. I remember that part of his season.
I mean, and Aldo asked me live on the show. He was going around talking to everybody, and then when he got to me, he's like, "Hey, Nomad, what do you think we ought? You think we ought to bench Kyler Gordon and let him?" I was like, "No, right away. There's no chance in hell you take him this far and you bench him. There's nothing he's going to
mind blowing. That's going to blow his mind right there.
There's nothing he can learn from the sidelines. The best teacher is going to be on that field getting his butt kicked.
Yep.
And what's going to happen by mid-season? This is me talking to Aldo. By mid-season to the latter part of the season, he will have seen enough and experienced enough, seen sets, seen route combinations, what they're trying to do to him to take advantage of him. And he'll speed up, get faster, get quicker once he's not thinking. I know that because from experience. I've gone through that myself. And so I know what it takes. You got to see enough, you got to experience enough. And once you get there, and once nothing surprises you no more, the stuff that you're getting from the sidelines, the play call and the checks and all that stuff, now everything starts to speed up. And so do your reactions. You trigger faster and you jump balls. And before you knew it, by the end of the season, boom, he's jumping balls and getting pick sixes and stuff like that. And so I thought it was important that they took the time to, that's what I like about these coaches, man. They are not afraid to play rookies. And that's the only true way a rookie can develop is you put him out there and you let him go through his growing pains. And that's the part of development I think people were impatient about because it was looking bad for us. We were getting scored on left and right. And everybody's like, why did we draft these guys? We need to get rid of them. Pole their bus. Pole doesn't know what he's doing. And then here we are, some few weeks later, they're singing a different tune. So that's why we're having the show, guys, today is for everybody to pull back a little bit and just take a good look at why and how that development is important, man. So you think about
I don't know if I agree with you completely. I think there's other ways to develop rookies, but I think that was the only way for us to develop
maybe
rookies.
A quarterback, Shawn, but those guys, there's no other way for a DB to get better. No other way.
No, well, I mean, you can rotate, but you got to get on the field. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. But I mean, they were thrown out there. Like there was like, when you throw a baby in the water, sink or swim, and they had to do it because we really had no other DBs. All the veteran DBs were about as good as the rookies. So if the veteran DBs aren't noticeably better, and you're trying to win, then put them in. But if you're not trying to win, which we weren't at that point, and your DBs, your veterans aren't much better, if better at all, than the rookies, then okay, go ahead, sink or swim. But if we had DBs who were worth something, who were a lot better that they could learn from, I would say, one of the things you could do is you could sit there and watch, and obviously rotate. You got to play. I just don't think I think that you can sit and watch people in front of you, and then when you get in, hopefully your film work is on point, and with what you've seen, the guys on first team do. I don't think you have all the snaps like they did, but I think there's two ways to do it. They're both effective depending on the situation.
Now, if you couple that, Shawn, with what you said, let's say for instance, Tyreek Stevenson or Kyler Gordon was struggling in that first year, getting cooked all over the place, which both of them did.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the message you send by taking him out after you have given him encouragement and you started him and told him we believe in you, and he struggles. The message that you send, mentally, depending on where that kid is emotionally, that could be kind of iffy. Does he recover from that?
I agree. That's what I was saying earlier. I'm like, you can't put him in and take him out, but you can rotate him. That's what I'm saying. Like if we had a slot, a veteran slot that you could say, okay, hey, listen, you're getting 3 series today. All right, boom. You go watch the rest, 3 series, unless he gets hurt, boom. But once you throw him in, you can't take him out. No. I agree with that completely, bro. Completely. If you're going with the rookie, the rookie route, man, you're gonna see, and you have the conversation. The DB coach has a conversation with him. The defensive coordinator has a conversation with him, and the head coach, or they could all be in there at the same time. And say, look, we're gonna put you out there. You're gonna get your ass kicked. You're gonna get burned. All right, you're gonna get burned a lot. All right. I just need to know that you're ready to handle it, and it's not going to affect you. You're going to keep coming to work every single day, because what's going to happen is you're going to get burned, and all of a sudden you're going to be making one play here. All of a sudden you're making 2 or 3 plays here. It's going to change, but it's not going to be easy initially. And just let them know, and then it gives them confidence, and that's a good coach too, a good coaching staff to talk to players like that, and it's to give them confidence. Like if I do screw up, I am looking over my shoulder, like, man, the other guy, they're going to pull me out. No. That's I can get in the way Poles seems to be very communicative. I think they might have had a conversation like, "Hey, dog, you guys are it. All right, ain't no one behind you, so go get it. You can, you know what I mean?" Shawn, no, I agree with you though, bro. You don't put him in, start him, and then take him out, because that's a mind blow. That's a mind blow.
You can't do that. But think about this too. For Kyler, who's used to playing on the outside in college, to get moved inside where he's having to play more nickel, you know. His keys are different. He's got to read things different. His reactions is completely different at that point. And again, you talk about the speed of the game, which at that time was still
very
quite
fast
for him.
Yeah.
It hadn't slowed down for him. You know, as the season progressed, the game started to slow down for him a little more, and it didn't help too that he was getting picked on. So, but it was good because it helped speed up that learning process for him too by being picked on, to where he started trusting his instincts more. He started reading his keys better. And that's what having, and I actually think having Eddie back there at the time, having a veteran.
Huge benefit.
You know, that helped him a lot, you know, on knowing on what keys to read, when to react. And by that 13th, 14th game in the season, you started seeing it click with him, and he started responding. His instincts were starting to kick in, and that's when we started to see a lot of those, you know, pass deflections and everything. So it helped him. And then the off season rolled into this season, and you saw a completely different player, confident, and he was willing to take chances because he knew he understood the game better, and the game was completely slower to him, to where now you don't hear nothing on the outside at all. You're zeroed in on that play. And to me, that was the big growth for him, to where now he's that dude that they're gonna really rely on with this coming season. Because again, now with the hire of Eric Williams, we're going to really see a difference in this defense. These guys are going to be flying around, man. I think we're going to I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't lead the league in takeaways this coming season.
Hey, you know something, man? I'm going to just tell you guys what it feels like when you're out there and you get thrown into that fire. And I was that as a freshman in college. Familiarity with the system, yes, because we did the same thing when I was in high school. But this is what was happening to me. The different formations and the different, you know, you might see a 3-man stack in a way that you had never seen one. I mean, when I say stack, I mean a 3-receiver stack on the perimeter, and you're playing in the slot, and you got to figure out what you're doing is the whole time while you're getting your butt kicked for a while, you're cataloging and memory banking is what you're doing, and you're taking a bunch of mental pictures of stuff. And this is not even knowing you're doing it indirectly, but then after looking back on it, you know, on the other side of it, once you learn enough and seen enough, all that stuff becomes teaching stuff. And the stuff doesn't surprise you anymore. You kind of know how to break on stuff, and you kind of know how to get a little bit better leverage than you did the first time. You talk about growth and development. That's exactly what you saw Kyler Gordon do. That's exactly what you saw Tyreek Stevenson do all year. So I could see, you know, watching him early, like Tyreek, for instance, I could see him being, you know, extremely aggressive early part of games and the early part of the season, and getting, you know, that biting him in his butt, and realizing that, no, this is a different league, man. I got to get off of him a little bit and got to learn, you know, foot movements and, you know, how releases work and what they're trying to, not to respect that first move. And, you know, and stop being so handy. He had to learn all that stuff all in 1 year. And so, again, talking about the growth and development part, I seen that guy turn into a different player by the end of the year. He was no longer a rookie by probably game 9. I mean, game 9, I think he was.
What I saw too, Nomad, was the fact that it's not that he stopped being so aggressive. He picked and chose his spots when to be aggressive. It wasn't aggressive 100% of the time, and I think that's what he had to learn. When you're young, dumb, and full of stuff, you know what I mean. Just like you want to make a play, like let me get it, and they use that against him. I mean, they use a double move against him. In the beginning, and so he had to learn. We talked about letting the game come to you, letting the game slow down, because you're trying to make an impact. You're trying to impress your teammates. You're trying to get the trust of your teammates. You're trying to impress your coaches, and sometimes you do a little too much as opposed to letting the game come to you. You go to the game, let it come to you, and that was one of the things he had. And he was handsy. You talked about he was physical. He got penalties, holding, pass interference, holding, all this stuff. But that one thing happens as he started getting better, as he started relaxing, as he started letting the play come to him, as he started not falling for the first move, as he started being more patient, his aggressiveness was rewarded. He wasn't called for a lot. He was still doing some of that same stuff, but he was getting the benefit of the doubt. Why? Because he's breaking up passes. Because once you start breaking up passes, once you start picking up passes, and you're on the ball all the time, they're going to let a lot of you. You can speak to this, Nomad. When you're a good DB, they'll let a little hole go, the little push go, the little shove go, they'll let that go because you're a good player. Mm-hmm. And he started to get that respect from the officials toward the end of the season, and rightfully so.
But you know what, too? That's also a testament to the coaching staff, man, because they allowed him to continue to be him, versus, trying to correct him and say, hey, slow it down a little bit. Don't do this. They said, you know what? Keep being you. And because of that allowed the referees to know that, hey, this guy is just an aggressive player, but he's clean with it. He's not, and everything he did, technical wise, he was on point. It's just a matter of, again, letting the game come to him and slow down. And by him really going out there and taking those chances, he started to really trust his own instincts again. And that's the key. What most people don't understand about DBs, it's really about your instincts, your understanding your keys, but really trusting your instincts and your technique. And I give John Hoke a lot of credit as far as being a DB coach. I think he does a really good job with those guys.
I wish I had that clip. We had that clip because when I was in the locker room and we were interviewing him, and that's what he was saying. And I was like, man, he goes, I just want to, say what's up, say, big shout out to my guys who really supported me. When things were going good and told me things were getting better. He goes, and basically they stood by me and they told me it was going to get better, and it has. That was a great little piece in the locker room after one of the games. Exactly what he said.
Nomad sleep again.
He's
sleeping.
Man, before we get to the other side of the ball, man, let's take a quick station identification before we talk about the offense.
Well, don't be taking a nap while we do it, all right?
The best Chicago Bears content anywhere. Catch Nomad live pregame 1 hour prior to kickoff, and Nomad at night postgame, and every Friday evening at 7 p.m. Central on all the most popular streaming platforms, and only on the Nomad Network.
That's right, everybody. We were really, really close to 1,000, man. We like maybe 20 subs or so away, man, and here we are at the finish line, man. We just need you to hustle us up over, push us across, man, kick us across if you got to, do whatever. Man, just get us across to 1,000 so we can do what we need to do. Appreciate all you guys for all the love and support. Keep it coming, man. We really appreciate you guys a whole lot.
Yeah, come on, man. Tell your sports buddies that to go ahead and subscribe and jump on from time to time and check us out, man. But definitely, spread the word.
We're at 981, man. We're 19 away.
Oh, wow. And make sure you guys do us a favor, and if you haven't, go over to Sports Zone Chicago and make sure you subscribe to Shawn's channel too, man. So we're doing this together, man, and we need the same amount of love and trust, man, over there too. So appreciate you guys ahead of time for doing that. But let's go to the other side of the ball really quick. And let me paint this picture. Tear down. Brand new offensive coordinator. Offensive coordinator wants to change some things about the quarterback, footwork, some release points and all this kind of stuff that coordinators want to do with quarterbacks if they don't like something. Not only that, you pair Justin Fields with Equanimeous St. Brown, Velus Jones, Byron Pringle, Darnell Mooney, and Dante Pedersen, and maybe
Amir Smith-Marset.
And somehow this dude,
forget him.
some way or another, through all of that change and all that adversity, this dude somehow cracks the top 100. And you're ready to get rid of this guy. You know what it takes to learn a West Coast scheme that I've seen when it was on paper. I've seen the thickness and the density of a college West Coast scheme. I'm imagining, just the verbiage in the first part of that is crazy. This is Justin Fields learning, trying to grow in a new system, trying to take the direction that's given to him, and he's doing it like a soldier, taking it in stride. They give him C-level talent as far as his receivers go, and he makes the top 100. What does it take for people to realize that when someone, especially for a quarterback, all the information that's given to him that he has to digest and disseminate and be able to get that out in the huddle and give those guys proper information, get them to the line on time and get a playoff and execute it. The difficulty of it, I don't think people really respect. Some of the people in the fan base just think, okay, we just got him a new coordinator. He's going to learn that and boom, poof, we're going to be good. No. It takes time. You got to grow with it and turn it into an offense that becomes yours. Develop in it. And that's just what it is. It being a whole year of him growing in that offense and trying to grow with the offensive coordinator that's not really determined to really, accentuate his attributes really, and really just wanted to do it his way and call the plays that he liked. And he's trying to slowly turn this kid into Aaron Rodgers, and it's not really working. The inconsistencies were there. Why? Because the coach was inconsistent. So let's just talk about that part of it. The team and the offense that he was straddled with, a left tackle who was a rookie, a mismatched interior offensive line. I mean, it was just rough. And somehow he was able to crack the 100, top 100. Go ahead, guys.
Real quick, Jay Grizz, no, I didn't play with Ty Streets. He didn't go to St. Rita. Ty, I think he went to one of the South Suburban schools, Marian Catholic. Galladay went to St. Rita, and then Darius Fleming went to St. Rita. But no, I didn't play with Ty Streets. You know what? The thing you got to understand is, like, it's a mind blow. When you go in your first game, first of all, you're anticipating, I'm sure they had a conversation like, hey, you're going to get, because Nagy had come from KC, like, all right, you're going to sit for a year. I will get you in mop up time. All right, we're up 20, we're down 20. You're going to get in, or you'll get a series here and there, which I think is always good. Just throw them in the middle of a series, in the middle of a game. Just you got one series. It's not going to make or break it. Your first game, you get sacked 9 times.
Right.
All right. How many more hits did you get? Myles Garrett. I mean, it's bad enough you get 9 times, but the dude, Myles Garrett, had 4.5 of them. Like, this dude is on you all the time. It's a mind blow. Okay. And the formula, so he come and they got a new offensive coordinator, new whatever. And the formula was for last year, or in 22, was his running ability. Now, he still can pass. We've seen what he's been able to do at Ohio State. He wasn't a running quarterback at Ohio State. He was able to sit in the pocket and pick people apart with Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave. All right. And then, but you find out that you don't have the horses that you did at Ohio State. You had a left tackle that was, a rookie. You had a lot of inconsistencies at an offensive line. So you had to run. That was the formula for that. And I think where it went wrong is that they should have transitioned him into being get back to passing, because he's in survival mode. Yeah. Right? He's in survival mode and you can't expect him to stand there and look at a pocket when his first year and a half or 2 seasons, or his first season, that he's about to get destroyed.
Hey, Shawn.
Yeah.
They asked him to make a Thanksgiving dinner and slid him a pack of hot dogs. Is what they did for the most part.
Yeah. Like you can't make chicken salad out of chicken bleep. I mean, you can't. You really, really can't. And so if that, and I had this conversation earlier today on Twitter or Facebook, one of the places. I'm like, you, that has to be gradual. Like, okay, listen, we want you to win from the pocket, but we're not going to stop you from running. All right, if you see it, go. I'd rather pull you back a little bit than say stay in the pocket, because that's exactly what they did to Mitch. Exactly what it was, the same regime, but nonetheless, exactly what was told to Mitch: stay in the pocket. You got to win from the pocket. You got to win from the pocket. You got to win from the pocket. No, you didn't. We weren't going to the Super Bowl that year anyway. So you took away one of the best weapons in the NFL. Okay. And force him to do stuff. And you're still in survival mode. And then you got a tackle you still got an offensive line that's porous. Man, what they did is they messed with his mind. That's the issue. So hopefully Waldron is able to undo some of the damage, because there were some shots, and I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. There are some shots that Justin missed. There was a one when they're in the orange uniforms. I don't know if they're in Tampa Bay, and he had Roshan Johnson up the seam. And he's looking at him. He doesn't throw it. Like what quarterback doesn't, he doesn't do that. These are things he's got to work on. And Justin's got to do it. Justin has to understand too now that, hey, he's been damaged by these people. Okay. You got to understand he's got to find some way, some confidence. If he's got to go to a sports shrink, do what you got to do. But the confidence for him too has to grow. And you got to grow up. Like this is the NFL. It's not for long. They're already talking about getting rid of you. All right. He's got to grow up and he's got to say, well, what am I doing wrong? All right. Talk to hopefully. I mean, he's got a relationship with or build one with Waldron. But there's so many things mentally is what is the issue with Justin Fields now. They screwed him up big time. And now he's got to unlearn that. And hopefully Waldron's the dude to unlock him. Because I'm telling you, and people may think I'm crazy. You can call me retarded, idiot, stupid, clown. I don't care. I know football. And if you unlock him, you get him back right mentally, he's a top 5 quarterback. Hands down. There's nothing that any quarterback in this league can do physically that Justin can't do. Nothing.
Well, too, what they can do to help slow things down for him is work in halves. Have him just focus on one half of the field. Scan that. If it ain't there, then you work to the other side. And in some cases, if you don't see it, be Justin. Just be you. Let him play free. Give him the autonomy to play free. But at the same time, in the development part of it, break it down to where he understands it and knows what to read, how to read it, go through his progressions, one half of the field at a time. Versus you got him trying to have him scan the whole field, and then God forbid your route concepts was garbage in the first place. So, you got 3 receivers in the same area, 2 yards apart.
Route combos were horrible, Keith. Oh my God. Thank you for saying yes. Yeah. See, I've said that so many times, bro. You got 2 and then the progressions. This is what people don't understand. And if you remember Brian Young or Brian Hamilton, Brian Young from Bloom, who went to Notre Dame, he was a year younger than me at Bloom. I know him because I dated a girl from Bloom my senior year when he was a junior, Jay Grizz, but I digress. There's one play I remember, Justin's progression, it was deep, it was shallow, deep left, shallow right, shallow left. You mean to tell me you want a quarterback to go from here to here to here with a porous offensive line?
Right.
Deep left, short right, short left. Like that's moving too far. And then I saw this past season, one of the I forgot who scored on us. The route combo was so beautiful. It was a go route, it was a crossing route, and it was a curl. So the slot did the go route, the outside guy did the curl, and the slot over here with the crossing route. So the quarterback's like one deep, intermediate, short. I mean, you talk about being efficient with your progressions. That's efficient with your progressions, and people don't understand that. You have to marry those route progressions with the pass pro, and you can't have Justin take 3-step drops, which he was doing sometimes, and have him throw intermediate to long passes. Like, people don't understand, and this is what frustrates me. When they say, well, Justin holds the ball too long. I'm like, well, yeah, he had a 3-step drop for whatever reason, and you're running intermediate to deep routes. Right. So what's he going to do? Like he's holding, you just don't get, people don't understand it. And it's I stopped trying to explain to people because, on here, they're always right. So, but yeah, you're talking about right, man, that there's so much that goes that the average Joe just doesn't get.
No, man. And it was a disservice to him.
So
basically, you got me fired up, bro.
FFG style also made me remember to mention, name a time where Justin had a starting offensive line for 5 games, the same starting offensive line. You can't.
No,
was it
not even this season, man. Not even this.
Never has.
Mm-hmm.
Never had. But
I think we had maybe 3 games this season, probably from week 11 to week 14, 15, maybe he had the same guys consistency wise, and then before you know it, you lose your center, you lose your guard. I mean, come on, man.
We didn't start off with our right guard. Right? We didn't start off with our right guard. Nate Davis had the family issue. His mom was ill. So we didn't start off with we didn't get that. We didn't get week 1 starting offensive line till like 9 or 10. Right. Week 9 or 10.
Yeah, Tevin was hurt too, I think.
Tevin was hurt too. It's right. His back. Man. So, you get all this stuff, and it all this matters, man. It all matters, and it's frustrating. And again, I'm never going to absolve Justin from what he needs to work on. He's got to hit those seams, and for some reason that seems to be his kryptonite. Hit those seam routes. All right, hit those seam routes. Like you gotta watch film. You gotta, you know what I mean. You gotta talk. You gotta. And hell, if you don't, then you need to find a coach that you trust and say, okay, watch film with me. Like you gotta do stuff on your own. Like you gotta grow the hell up, man. And I get it. Justin's not been put in a good situation at all. But that doesn't mean that you can't work at it. Doesn't mean you can't find it. Doesn't mean you can't make that situation better. It's gonna take a little more work. But guess what? Your livelihood and your state, your era here in Chicago depends on it. Yeah, you can find good coaches. Man. Yeah, exactly. Be a pro. I'm having trouble. I need to go ask for help. You got the money. You can pay people. Get it done. Because once he's unlocked, it's over.
And it's funny you say that, Shawn, because something I've wondered. You got a defensive head coach. What I couldn't understand was, how are you guys helping him break down and identify the different coverages that they're throwing at you? In certain situations too, to kind of help slow the game down for him, but help him with his reads. And again, mind you, his route concepts weren't great, but when they were, are you able to see what they're throwing at you? And you recognize most of the time you got a spy, so what are you seeing? But my biggest problem I had was our receivers not being able to get any separation.
It was more than that though, man. It was exactly what Shawn is talking about and what you're talking about. Combine both of those, and when routes that you have set don't break at the proper time with the drop that you just gave him, you got routes still developing once he's planting his feet.
He's at the top of the drop,
and when he's ready to unleash the ball, and so all of that was a hindrance to what he was doing because he just did not script it up the right way. We found out the hard way that this guy can't really design a proper game plan. Not with the quarterback that we had. He could probably, let's just say he gets Tyson Bagent in Vegas and can actually script the plays that he had in mind here. It might look better than it did here. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that. But since we're at an hour, man, we can go on and on for the next couple of hours, man, because this is I can see right now we being football people that we notice all these things, and then when I bring them up, it just triggers some thoughts that you had in your head about, you know what, I forgot. I saw that happening, man. That didn't make no sense. And then when you talk about the struggle that this team has gone through, and the quarterback in particular, and why the subject matter of growth and development is so important, I think people just need to pull back for a minute and remember what just happened in sequence and understand where we are now. I said, when you look at it through those lens, you can, if you're being objective and being sensible, you're going to back off a little bit and let these people put together what they plan on putting together and let that grow and develop into what it needs to be. It needs to mature. And they need time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That goes from the quarterback on down. And so I'm gonna just wrap the conversation up with that. But Chris, I think you got a little treat for us before we get up out of here.
Actually, the treat is one that you created.
Hold on, don't put it up, Chris. Let me set it up. So there's a guy from 670 to score that
Jesus, yeah.
They like to troll the fan base because that's the way they are, man. They really don't like us and they want to troll us. And so he goes and gets this custom Caleb Williams jersey. If you haven't seen it, take a look at it.
Now that's funny. That's freaking funny. That's funny. I'm not talking about the picture. I'm talking about the caption. I saw the picture. I didn't see that caption. That caption is awesome. Did you do that, Nomad, or did you do?
I don't know. Somebody I know did it.
Somebody else. Oh, dude, that is awesome.
Are they going to remain?
Awesome.
Are they going to remain anonymous?
Man,
I don't know who
awesome.
did it. I saw it. I thought that's pretty interesting. I shared it, but that's what he's acting like, a girl that's going to get one of those belt line tattoos right above her butt. Like, just go ahead and do that next, man. Golly, man, what kind of man are you?
I told you last night, man, you better be careful, man. If that dude runs into you, look at the guns on him.
Hey, man. Hey, man, this guy, man, I don't know. What did your wife think of this, man? What is this, man? What are we doing here? We got one dude writing love letters.
I was just about to say, yes.
Now this dude
pouring his heart out. Like, I love you, Justin. Like, come on, man.
Go get your tramp stamp, man. Go and get your tattoo on your waistline.
Your lower back.
Take care
of your ass crack.
Hey, man, listen, speaking of art, let me share something with you guys. Take me about 2 minutes. I saw some on the internet the other day, and I'm into graphic design, but this was one of the coolest pieces that I had seen ever. And I don't know the young man's name, but I'm going to put his website in the chat.
Yeah, that's dope. I saw that. That's dope.
Yeah, it's floating around the internet right now, and I just think it's cool. I'm a big Wilt Chamberlain fan because I'm old, but for those of you who don't know, craps is shooting craps is a big part of Black culture, and just to have all these all-time greats in here, and if you look right under LeBron's hand, you can see Bill Russell back in the corner peeking.
Yeah.
So I thought that was real cool. I'm gonna drop. Bill Russell is right. You can see in the back.
Sitting.
Yeah, he's sitting back here peeking.
I'm like, how you gonna get Bill Russell? That's light-skinned Steph with a Davis.
Yeah, he's right.
I see him sitting. I got you.
Yeah, so I thought this was cool, man. I like giving people their props. I'm gonna drop this young man's and this stuff is for sale. So I'm going to drop his it's called thewriteart.net, and I'm going to drop that in the chat. Go check out some of his artwork, man. It's super, super good stuff. And it's, just give your brother a shout out.
That is shout. I like that, man. That's
cool. Is that not sweet?
Yeah, that's perfect for a man cave.
That's right.
That's some pretty cool artwork, man.
Yeah, I like that, man.
But before we get out of here, man, you guys got any last thoughts before we wrap this up? Chris, we'll start with you.
No, man, just a good day. You guys hit on some good points today. Development's the key, man. I mean, I feel like if we can develop what we have and add to it, that Super Bowl ring is going to get closer. And again, it's good to have Keith with us, man. Welcome to the team. Appreciate having you, brother. Shawn, as always, man, I love you, man, and I appreciate you being here with us. And Nomad, you all right.
Go ahead, Keith.
I want to part with this, man. In life, we talk about development. So let's why do we think because they're professional athletes, they're any different than the average Joe on his job? It takes time to get acclimated. I get it. They make millions of dollars. They're playing a kid's game, getting a king's ransom. But at the same time, man, it takes time. For the average quarterback, it takes 3 to 5 years of full development if you come out the gates correctly. This young man got drafted into a crap show. I'm gonna watch my words, and it's taking a little more time than others. But if you really look at it, and this is for those that have not followed this kid. I followed this kid since high school. He's a hard worker, comes from a great family. But if you really pay attention to his game, he's played under center more than the average quarterback that's playing right now. Give him the time, give him the tools. And I think this year, and I'm going on record, and I could be wrong, but I'm going to go on record and say he'll be QB1 come September.
Amen.
You know, and I think Shane Waldron and with Kerry Joseph, and if you haven't done your research on Kerry Joseph, I advise you to do so. That's going to let you know where their thought process is when it comes to these QBs, whether it be Justin, whether it be Caleb or whoever. But do your research on him. You're going to find out they're up to something. They got something up their sleeve, man. So get ready, strap it up, because we're going for a ride this coming season.
All right, Shawn, go ahead.
Real quick, just in Jay Grizz. No, actually, I'm still older than them. Nairobi Allen was the guy that I played against. Mount Carmel, 1988 year. So Simeon Rice and those guys, they came after. I don't look like I'll be 53 because I shaved my head and my beard. Otherwise, there's a lot of salt, no pepper. But I digress. I graduated in 89. Last football season was 88. One of the things that I'm noticing is just the shift. And it causes me to believe, because it's a lot. People keep forgetting, and everyone wants to stand on the table like, this is what's happening right now. It's lying season. All right, it's lying season, and the more that I see everybody say, like even Brad Biggs, it's not what if they're going to take a quarterback at 2. And you have other people, even Ian Rappaport, it's going to be, they're taking a quarterback. When I start seeing everybody going a certain way, it makes me pause for a second. And I'm saying, okay, this is lying season. I still think that polls, and if you go by what he said, I want to build through the draft. There's no better way to build through the draft than you trade this pick, and you get 2 first-rounders in 24, 2 first-rounders in 25, 2 first-rounders in 26. Who knows how many second-rounders you're going to have, and you're probably going to get another DJ Moore type player. There's no better, faster way, an efficient way to build a team, and that's what I'm believing. That's what's got me. They just talked about yesterday, Magic Johnson again, saying he's going to do whatever he can to get Caleb Williams. He understands what that brings financially to that new ownership group in Washington. I'm excited to see how it plays out, man. I'm looking to see this Bears team, make the playoffs this year. I think their ceiling would probably be the divisional round. I don't think they'll get to the NFC Championship game. If they do, hell, great. Then it's a crapshoot. Best team doesn't always win. It's who's hot that day. But I think they make it to the divisional round and lose, and then in 25, I think is when they legitimately become Super Bowl NFC title game contenders on an annual basis. And I've said this. I said it last year. I want Justin Fields and Patrick Mahomes every year at the end of the year, and they have that ability, but they have to unlock Justin. Can Shane do it? I don't know. Do they keep him? Because I'll tell you what. Here's the last thing before I let you go. Why the hell are so many people lining up for Justin Fields? Why are so many people lining up? I'll give you a second. I'll give you a first.
Garbage.
Why, if he's so crappy? Why? Why are people? Man, you know what people in Pittsburgh are saying? You know what people in Pittsburgh are saying?
They want him.
You're damn right they want him.
And
y'all gonna lead us into a whole nother conversation.
You're right. You're right. You know what, guys? Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you go and subscribe to Sports Zone Chicago's YouTube page as well. We'll be back tomorrow, same bad time, same bad channel. No, not 9 a.m. It's my show. Well, my show is 9 a.m. to 11 tomorrow on Sports Zone Chicago. But we'll be back here at 12 o'clock Central, 12 to 1 Central time. We'll be back tomorrow as well. So. It's always fun talking football. Like you said, no man, we could talk for hours Ours.
On in.
Follow the money.
So hey, I think these guys said enough, man, and I'm not going to over embellish. And we're gonna I just want to thank you guys again for coming to the show. And I want to say I welcome you to the network, Keith. I'm glad to have you here, man. Appreciate you being here.
Man, I appreciate it again.
Yes, sir. So before we get out of here, I always gotta leave you with these famous words.
Wait.
Come on, Chris.
That was supposed to say follow the money.
I don't even know what that means, but we're gonna leave you.
Hey, Shawn, tell him what it means.
I'll tell you what it means off the air, Nomad.
Right.
Follow the money, man. Now
right.
Proceed, sir.
Leave you with these three famous words: love, peace, and hair grease, y'all.
Peace.